Water, water everywhere. Or that's how it might seem. Many believe Europe has water in abundance, particularly in the north. But it's facing a growing crisis. Water scarcity, the lack of enough fresh water to meet demand, is becoming a bigger and bigger problem. The UK, known for its rainy weather, has made it onto the list of countries facing water shortages. Less rain, higher temperatures, plus more water demand are making things worse. And if drought continues for a long time, reservoirs once full of water end up looking like this. Meaning more water restrictions for us.
They've just imposed restrictions on a million households. Why? Because there is not enough water in the reservoir. Why? Oh, because the reservoir is too small. Why? Because we didn't build a bigger one when we should have done.
And it's not just the UK that's facing these problems.
Well, water has climbed the political agenda in different member states. There are different water challenges, and they are clearly coming from mismanagement of water, but climate change is coming on top of those and is even intensifying those problems much more. So it's really became obvious that we are feeling climate change through water, through extreme events, floods, droughts.
Almost 71% of the planet is covered by water. But here's the catch. Only about 3% of it is freshwater, and most of that is frozen in glaciers or buried deep underground, leaving less than 1% accessible to humans. So what do we currently do with this small percentage? Well, about 70% goes to farming. The rest is divided between industry and domestic use. But global warming is threatening the water supply in some regions. While some places are getting more rain, others, like the UK, are facing longer and more intense droughts.
Well, yes, saving water is good, but there's a limit to what you can achieve. And when you have a drought, you discover that you've reached that limit and now you've got nowhere to bring the water from. And what we're finding is that it makes sense to use areas with lots of water to supply areas with less water. People didn't like that for environmental reasons. But when you look at the damage that's done to society and economy by running out of water, it really has a disruptive effect on economy and on people's lives.
Europe is the world's fastest warming continent. Germany, for example, is among the countries facing the worst water stress worldwide. The effects can already be seen. Water levels in the Elbe River are so low that in some parts boats are unable to sail. Then there's southern Europe, where up to 70% of the population is facing water shortages during the summer months. In Spain, agriculture and tourism are compounding the problem. In 2023, almost 9 million people in Spain faced restrictions on their water usage, with the southern region of Andalusia among the most impacted.
A lot of that water is coming from nature. It's not coming from the tap. So before we start divvying up water between citizens and swimming pool and industry and agriculture, we really need to make sure that our nature base, where water is coming from, is taken care of.
And there are countries like South Africa that have learned this lesson firsthand. After 3 years of severe drought, in 2018, Cape Town almost became the first major global city to reach day zero, the day when the water runs out. Locals could only obtain 50 liters of water a day, enough for an average shower. The crisis cost the city around $400 million in economic losses, and tens of thousands of people lost their livelihoods. But here's the good news. Cape Town managed to avoid day zero with a combination of water restrictions, strategies, and the government, NGOs, and communities working together.
The city ramped up their non-revenue water losses program. So this is fixing leaks that might be causing physical water losses. Also, the reduction of pressure also helped with managing unnecessary water consumption. On a long term, you had a series of plans. The city worked on updating its water strategy for Cape Town.
Nature-based initiatives were also adopted. The community was trained to restore damaged catchment areas. They also removed invasive plants that consumed large amounts of water needed by people and ecosystems. A solution that not everyone thinks will work in the long run.
Actually, I'm afraid to say, and I used to be responsible for the program, the benefits are greatly exaggerated, the costs are higher than estimated, and they don't last because the plants keep coming back and growing again.
What makes the biggest difference, experts say, is political will.
That political attention that was given to the water crisis enabled a lot of solutions that had not been budgeted for to be approved at a much faster pace. Some of the ongoing plans that were on the pipeline, which would have taken much longer, could be allocated a budget sooner.
In the future, these solutions should be implemented earlier to avoid the crisis before it's too late, experts say.
You need to be prepared before the drought. You need to have enough storage so that when there is a drought, you can survive. And the problem in Cape Town was they only had 2 years of storage under normal consumption.
In the European Union, there is legislation to secure enough water storage in the future.
There is a legal deadline by 2027 to make sure that all our waters, rivers, lakes, coasts, groundwater aquifers are in good status. We have the time, we have the money. It's about allocating the resources.
When it comes to water scarcity, human factors like poor water infrastructure are often the main drivers. In England and Wales, around 1 trillion litres of water leaked out of pipes in 2023. Many of the waterways are old, dating back to the 1800s. At the current rate, it would take around 2,000 years for English water companies to replace all of the pipes. Doing so quickly would help. Building more reservoirs to better save water when rain does fall could also be a solution. With the growing threat of climate change, experts say we need to get much better at using water efficiently and saving it.
A big part of it is us being consciously aware of the relationship we have with water and how we could maybe improve it.
That's going to be very important to secure water for a growing population, for the economy, to establish water for food production, and to protect the environment. Water scarcity is not a local problem. Countries around the world will need to work together to tackle this growing threat that affects all of us.